Whether it's hoeing or sowing, we love our gardens, or at least the harvest they bring in. In this week's show, we're planting the seeds. Our jumping off point may help you get growing, giving you inspiration to jumpstart your garden.
The shortest thing I think is 28 days, and that would be like arugula. And some of the fruiting plants like tomatoes take between 50 and 60 days to produce fruit.
Then it's on to this guy, a profile of a Naples man who has some of the prettiest plants and flowers you'll ever see, and they aren't meant to be people pleasers. Plus, if you thought your pumpkin was all that, think again. The old gourd is yesterday's news, replaced by this spiky fruit. We'll have those stories along with the latest in our Positively Healthy Medical series. I'm Amy Osher, and this is Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. Thanks for joining us. Backyard gardeners may be a little behind this year since Hurricane Irma hit at a time when many are plotting. Fall is the preferred seed planting season for veggies in Southwest Florida. Experts say there's still time to sow your seeds and reap the rewards.
I always teach gardeners to use all different varieties of planting methods. So I use seeds, transplants, plugs, and cuttings.
Dina Bess has a green thumb and a willingness to lend a hand.
This onion I wouldn't plant yet out of the tray because it just doesn't have the root structure I'm looking for. And in Florida is so hot and humid, I want to give it its best chance.
She shares the fruit of her labor with others who want to get planting. Dina's garden is a go-to spot for grow-getters. Are these elevated beds?
They are.
What's the purpose of that?
They drain better. I can control the soil and the nutrients in them better than I can the ground. They're easy to work in. I don't have to bend over so far. I can sit and work.
Backyard gardening is on the rise with a growing number of people rolling up their sleeves and digging in.
There's nothing more delicious, I'm telling you. People who haven't eaten fresh picked garden food don't even know what they're missing.
Many around here are transplants themselves, accustomed to gardening up north, now finding themselves in unfamiliar territory.
It's not hard to grow here, it's just different. Up north you plant at the beginning of the season, and that's the same plant you're harvesting from all season long. Down here you have to kind of grow succession planting.
It means planting every month during the good growing season. A tomato plant in Florida may only last a month or two.
When it dies, you cut it off and you harvest from the new one.
Fall is prime time for veggies, and Dina's students are willing to get dirty.
We have a garden, but we want to learn how to do it better.
Gardening in the tropics requires adjustments.
The mulch helps keep them moist so that they don't have to be watered as much and they don't dry out as quickly.
What's planted now will be ready for plating by the holidays.
The shortest thing I think is 28 days, and that would be like arugula. And some of the fruiting plants like tomatoes take between 50 and 60 days to produce fruit.
The end game for many gardeners is the vegetable harvest, but it's not what motivates a Naples man. He's in it for a different reason, and we love his story.
Look, this is an abutilon.
Oh, so there are
This is a new plant as of about a year ago, and I had this last Christmas in a pot, and everybody thought I decorated it for Christmas because of the flowers.
To step into Mike Malloy's garden is to see nature in all its splendor. Blooms in every color, shape, and size.
This is Filipino violet. I mean, there's so many, but...
A tangle of tropical flowers, he cultivates them carefully, each one here by design. So all these beautiful plants, and most of them are chosen by their ability to attract butterflies?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't think there's a flower in Florida that butterflies don't like.
Mike wrote us that butterflies are his favorite things. A former landscaper, his passion was a natural progression.
You plant, the right butterfly comes. They all have one plant they love. And we started doing this 20, I don't know, maybe 30 years ago. And it just becomes addicting.
A beautiful obsession, really, taking up most of his time and energy.
It's insane that I spent $5,000 on milkweed one year just to feed the monarchs.
A self-described 60s guy, this butterfly lover is as colorful as the insects he adores.
And I found the butterflies were a lot easier to get along with because they didn't talk back. But no, they're just the most beautiful thing.
They seem to like him too, or the paradise he created. In our short visit, we saw several butterflies flitting about his garden, feasting on nectar, even horsing around. So, do you go on excursions to see butterflies?
All the time. We're through the Everglades twice a week.
When he's not looking for butterflies, Mike writes about them. When they die, he turns them into art, uplifted and inspired just having them here.
People take life too seriously, you know?
Planting the seeds of change is one way to describe a local man who was recently awarded a major honor. Greg Asbed co-founded the Coalition of Immokalee Farm Workers back in 1993 as a means to address injustices facing tomato workers. For his efforts and work in establishing better wages and working conditions, Asbed was awarded a MacArthur Fellow, also known as a Genius Grant. Along with this distinction comes a check for $625,000. That's more than $500,000 in grant money to further his work. An outgrowth of the coalition is the Fair Food Program, which monitors compliance and is being used as a guide in similar agri-labor sectors nationwide. A total of 24 Genius Grants were awarded this year, honoring people with extraordinary originality and dedication. Other winners worked in fields including cybersecurity and pop culture. Asbed lives in LaBelle and is the first winner from Southwest Florida. Nothing screams Halloween like a jack-o'-lantern, right? But the classic pumpkin is getting some prickly competition, being squeezed out by a more tropical fruit, the pineapple. It's very trendy this year, and so our features team decided to try it out. Coming up, it's time to roll up your sleeve if you plan to get a flu shot. The latest on the flu and you in our Positively Healthy report. That's up after the break.
Life here is amazing, and so is the joint care. At the Total Joint Center at Physicians Regional Healthcare System, we've changed the experience of joint replacement for good. With our comprehensive joint care program, most hip and knee replacement patients return home in just 2 days because we know you want to get on with your active life. Pain-free living starts at Physicians Regional Medical Center, Collier Boulevard, and Physicians Regional Medical Center, Pine Ridge.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom-designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida, and now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now, 2 locations to serve you.
Bear's 72nd anniversary sale. Shop now and get 65% off the Ultimate Chair by Stressless. Just $15.97. Don't miss this deal. $8.97 for this designer queen bed or dining table. Shop store-wide savings like this Broyhill sofa. Just $8.97. Often imitated, never duplicated. 72 years of award-winning service, delivering our customers the best selection, quality, and value. Come celebrate with Bears.
Hiring the right moving company is important. Best Moving and Storage is a family-owned and operated business serving Southwest Florida for over 22 years. From our free in-home estimate until the last piece of furniture is in your new place or stored in our climate-controlled warehouse, we treat you like family. Best Moving and Storage is fully licensed and insured, with all of our employees being certified drivers and packers. When it comes to protecting your treasured belongings, choose a company that's experienced and trustworthy. Call Best Moving and Storage today at 239-592-6565.
The annual push to get as many Americans as possible vaccinated against the flu is happening now at clinics, pharmacies, and doctors' offices around the country. Each year, there are a few tweaks in what to expect. Here's the latest in this week's Positively Healthy. The flu and you, two things that do not go together. The accompanying fever, sore throat, muscle aches, and chills could sideline you for days, even weeks. Doctors say your best shot at avoiding influenza is ready and waiting.
Usually starting in the fall, so around September, usually most clinics will have their immunizations in stock, and we're recommending you get your flu shot right away.
It takes 2 weeks for the immunization to reach its full effectiveness, so the time to act is now. Each shot protects from several strains of virus.
CDC looks at kind of what's been going on worldwide, and they try to make their best estimate of what they think that we're going to have to deal with for this year, and that's what gets included in the vaccine.
Board certified in family medicine, Dr. Andrea Bickerton believes everyone in the family should roll up their sleeves, even pregnant women who will be taking the shot for 2.
Every bit of immunity for the first few months of life are coming from mom. So whatever immunity you have can get passed through to your baby and protect them for the first little while.
So what's new when it comes to the flu? The strain expected this year is not a good match for the nasal spray, which some people choose instead of the shot. So doctors aren't recommending it. But they do say the jab of a needle is much easier to take than a week sick in bed.
If you're coming in and you're getting your flu vaccine, then you're not going to get the flu, or you have a much decreased chance.
Flu season generally peaks between December and January, and early predictions are that it may be a busy year, making it all the more important to give prevention a shot. Thanksgiving in New York is on the calendar of 2 Naples teens who will be taking part in the annual Macys Parade. Annika Hammerschlag profiles them both in the Daily News. 8th grader Alexis Anand got her invitation just as she was evacuating in advance of Hurricane Irma. Alexis is a singer-songwriter who'll be part of the Camp Broadway group. While Naples high schooler Luis Nicasio will be playing saxophone with the All-American Marching Band. Both students grew up watching the parade, and now they'll be part of the iconic event, this year marking the 91st annual Macys Thanksgiving Day Parade. Education is just one of our regular beats. Here's a look at a few other stories our reporters are working on.
Hi, I'm Ashley Collins. I'm a reporter with the Collier Citizen. This past week I got a chance to work on a story about the upcoming Native American celebration up in Clewiston at their local museum. There's a lot of art, a lot of food and crafts that are going to be out there because this is a big moment for the Seminoles, the fact that they've been able to celebrate this for the past 20 years in conjunction with their museum, which just celebrated its 20th anniversary a couple months back. I spoke to one Seminole Indian, Tina Osceola, who gave me a little insight as to how much the culture has changed in the past 20 years and since she was a little girl. For more on the story, visit naplesnews.com.
Hello everyone, my name is Eric Statz. I'm the environment reporter for the Naples Daily News. I wanted to tell you about some time I spent this past week with some archaeologists at the Otter Mound Preserve on Marco Island. The preserve was destroyed pretty much by Hurricane Irma, a lot of downed trees, and the root balls of the trees have revealed some Calusa Indian artifacts and some other historic objects that archaeologists are working to retrieve. The idea is to catalog them and give them to the Marco Island Historical Society for possible display at the museum on Marco. If you'd like to know more about what I found on the trip, check out naplesnews.com.
I'm Lisa Conley, the Marco Eagle reporter, and part of the team that works on #SouthwestFloridaStrong, a series profiling individuals making a positive impact on their communities. We've been working on this series for about a year now, so to celebrate, we're going to take a look back at Jan Etzel, a woman who's trying to bring the community together through gardening.
I began to draw up a design and see what kind of potential could be here. What you see today is what was on my plans, except for the trees now have grown. Everything was small and now everything is huge and it's massively giving. We have 12 crop rows, we have herb gardens, we have a nursery, we've got fields of crop vegetables. We have an orchard that has 85 tropical fruit trees that all came from Collier fruit growers. I'm a seed saver. So from year to year, I save my seeds and I teach people how to save seeds. So that saves money and you are guaranteed the seed product when you save your own seeds as well. As a farmer, as a gardener, as an educator, once a teacher, always a teacher. You always want to educate people. You always want to include people in on what you're doing. It's one thing for me to do it all myself, but it's another thing to be able to have people that have an interest to want to learn. It just seemed to be a very good relationship with the church and my husband and I. So we embarked on that partnership. They gave us the land. They put a fence in. They gave us more land. There's a flood zone. They told us that we hope you don't mind that there's a flood zone, and we were thrilled because bananas and sugarcane and all the other vegetables and fruits who love to have their feet wet had a home.
We've got one more desk to stop by in the newsroom. Here's Brent Batten and our weekly commentary.
Thanks, Amy. So the first cold front of the season moved through Southwest Florida last week, only it wasn't really a cold front. I mean, it was 75 degrees outside. That's not cold. Just ask the people in Green Bay. It's already down in the 30s there. The problem is the usual weather terms don't work in Southwest Florida. We don't have cold fronts. They should call them comfortable fronts. This would contrast with the summer when the weather forecasters say we have warm fronts. They're not warm fronts, they're oppressive fronts. In some places they talk about the summertime heat index, a combination of heat and humidity to tell you what it feels like outside. I already know what it feels like in the summertime. It feels like Hades. Don't call it a heat index. Call it a misery index. Sometimes in the summer, the forecasters talk about afternoon showers. Are you kidding me? A shower is a gentle smattering of water droplets falling lazily onto a meadow. We have pavement-pounding downpours that hit like a liquid jackhammer. The afternoon shower should be called the afternoon cloud dump. Lightning here shouldn't be called lightning. How about nature's strobe light? And thunder would be nature's subwoofer. As fall turns into winter in the heart of the country, rainy season turns into brush fire season here. As surely as spring follows winter elsewhere, hurricane season follows tourist season in Southwest Florida. The question now is there another oppressive front coming through, or will this comfortable front settle in for a while? I'm Brent Batten. Be sure to read my column on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays in the Naples Daily News. Find me on Facebook, and as always, thanks for watching.
Exploring the future of agriculture and doing it Disney style. That story is coming up on Behind the Headlines.
My name is Steve Unser, and cabinetry is my specialty. I have been creating custom designed cabinetry for 20 years in Southwest Florida. And now I am celebrating the grand opening of our new Naples showroom. Steve Unser Cabinetry will help you design your kitchen, bath, or home office with stunning results, offering the best quality of cabinets with a wide variety of design options and pricing to fit any budget. If your kitchen isn't becoming to you, you should be coming to us. Now 2 locations to serve you.
The area's only 30 minutes or less ER service pledge means you'll find less waiting for the care you need. And because we're full service hospitals, a lot more care if you need it. Less waiting, faster care. Only at Physicians Regional Healthcare System.
Is your auto insurance keeping pace with your life? Ask for a AAA triple check insurance review to see if your current policy is still a good fit. An agent will assess changes in your life, like new vehicles or drivers. Make sure you've got the right coverage and all the discounts you deserve. They'll also see how a AAA membership can round out your protection on the road. Plus, provide roadside assistance, discounts, free services, and vacation extras. Ask for your AAA Triple Check today.
Bear's 72nd anniversary sale. Shop now and get 65% off the ultimate chair by Stressless. Just $15.97. Don't miss this deal. $8.97 for this designer queen bed or dining table. Shop store-wide savings like this Broyhill sofa. Just $8.97. Often imitated, never duplicated. 72 years of award-winning service delivering our customers the best selection, quality, and value. Come celebrate with Bears.
You may know Ellen DeGeneres as a talk show host or comedian, but she's also a star in the field of home furnishing. DeGeneres has a huge passion for furniture and architecture, which she shows off in her own collection. Here's a look in this week's Inspired Living. Alan, I like that you're calling this a relaxed traditional, because a lot of people are looking for ways to fill a void from the Tuscan or Mediterranean look, and this is really a nice way to do it.
I think so. What we're finding is that there are some looks that are very classic, even if we're calling them mid-century modern, whatever you want to term you want to put on it. This is a collection from Ellen DeGeneres by Thomasville, and many of the elements of this she created. She obviously is very popular in TV, but she does some marvelous looks in remodeling homes.
You know Ellen, yeah, she's very into design.
Yes, and this reflects that. If you could say, well, I want to do that look of like what would be in the wine country, what would be in Montecito, or many of those California Malibu areas. And that translates very well to our Florida look.
Sure.
That many of our homes here have that open floor plan. We want a relaxed traditional feel. The warmth of the walnut and the wood tones are very appealing and actually very, very classic, but they also feel very much what we want at this time.
It is. It's nice because it's not too dark, but it has a nice solid wood color to it.
Yes, there's walnut and the rich wood tones actually are never out of fashion.
And it's still, though, a very kind of a streamlined look, though. It's not too heavy for a smaller living space, maybe a condo.
It's very livable, and I think that's another part of the element, is much what we're seeing. People definitely want a more scaled back look to the home. They don't necessarily want it too fussy, and they don't necessarily want it too overscaled.
And what about the hardware? She uses some different kinds of hardware?
She's using touches of brass and a little bit of bronze. Many of the elements are not necessarily matching anymore. And in fact, in many of her collections, she's got wrought iron in the tables. She's got stone. So you're getting all the warmth of wood, stone, and metal as elements to use in the room.
Very nice. It really is a beautiful collection, and thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Thank you.
Leave it to Disney to turn anything into an experience, even food. Visitors can now sign up for Agra Tours in Epcot's Land Pavilion. It promises to take you behind the scenes.
All of the plants in here have to be as clean as possible because they are food plants. So we need to make sure that these systems that like you're seeing them clean are as safe as possible for our guests. So may it be these column pots. The rest is the just see we're incorporating some of the flowers already. Windows together. Look like a really good harvest. This is our winter melon, and this is about 25 to 30 pounds. They can get upwards of 90 pounds in size. But it's an Asian melon used for soups, candies, or juice ed. Right. That's when you harvest the coffee.
And like lemon lotion, lemon.
Oh yeah. This is called a fluted pumpkin. It's grown in more drought-prone areas of Africa.
That's a wrap for this edition of Behind the Headlines. You can always catch up on past shows by logging on to naplesnews.com. On the left-hand side under Quick Links, select Behind the Headlines. I'm Amy Osher. See you back here next week.